Welcome, AP World History students. And today I am at a conference. I'm going to be out for the next 2 days. So you're going to watch the videos that I leave you and the instructions left with the substitute and in Google Classroom to get through the lesson. So I know I haven't talked a lot about the class, but this class covers the time period from 1200 through 1450. I'm sorry, 1200 through the present. The first unit covers 1200 to 1450. We're going to divide the course into 4 units. The second unit will cover 1450 to 1750. The third unit will look at major events from 1750 through the year 1900, more or less. And we will end the course with looking at the world in the 20th century. We will address every major region, so this is a true world history course, not like other courses that may just focus on mostly Europe and the United States and the world wars. This one will cover a wide range of history. If you have not gotten your materials, you will need those. Make sure you have a 200-page vinyl cover college ruled notebook, not a paper cover one. Make sure it's college ruled. You will see today and Thursday with the note taking you're going to need why you need a college ruled notebook. If you don't have one, borrow some college ruled paper from somebody today and Thursday. And I'm sorry, but you will need a college ruled notebook. Also, you'll need black and blue pens. Highlighters, I recommend you get multiple colors or get colored pencils. As long as you have 4 different colors, that's going to help you with a lot of the organization. And it's also going to be very useful if you can have a stack of Post-its as you do the reading. And you will see on Thursday why those will come in handy. And by now you should have also signed up for the Google Classroom. If you have not, here are the classroom codes. For period 4, it is the one circled in blue. And for period 8, it is the one circled in that reddish pinkish color. Now, if you're watching this in future years, that is not 2022, these might not apply to you. I am recording this for students because I am out this week at a conference, but you may use this slideshow in the future to review the strategies that we're going to go over. The biggest requirement for this class, besides material, is going to be a positive mindset. You've got to believe you can take this class. You've got to believe you could learn these skills even if today is going to be challenging. Do not give up because you start to feel overwhelmed. And most of the time when you see people succeeding, all you see is their success, like in this iceberg. But success takes a lot of dedication, hard work, building good habits, going through periods of disappointment, failure, and even sacrifice. But you gotta be persistent. And that's what's gonna help you through this course. So with that positive mindset, let's go ahead and get started. So goals for this week, in the first half of the period today, we're gonna work on the goal setting and community building because I want you guys to develop an environment in which you're gonna be supported and cared for and where you're gonna get each other's back and help each other through this course. You're gonna need each other, a lot of you, to get through this course. And then the second half of the period, we're going to spend on focusing skills and techniques that you're going to need to be successful in a rigorous course. So first, we're going to look at the goal setting and community building. And by now, you've completed the All About Me. You've completed the front. There was no back of this handout. You had some questions that you might have picked up. But you're going to use the information on this to discuss yourself with the person next to you, with your partner. By now you should be in your assigned seats, and so make sure that you are partnered with the person in the row next to you. I explained the rows and how they're partnered last week. And just to preview that, next week I'm going to begin signing you up for you to do your personal object share out. So I handed that to you guys last week. If you didn't get it, don't worry about it. When I return, I will give it to you. So our first activity is going to be to create a vision statement. When you came into the class, you should have picked up a blank piece of colored paper that was by the front door. If you didn't, you can get one quietly after I give the directions. Don't get up right now. Don't get up right now. So I'm going to give you 20 minutes to work on a vision statement. And what you're going to do, you're going to title this assignment, "Today marks a new chapter in my life." And then you're gonna write 10 I will statements like you see pictured here. You're gonna be creative. It doesn't have to look just like this one. But I want you to make 10 things you will do this year. These are goals that you could accomplish this school year. Okay? I'll have a lot of new friends. I will have good grades. I will join cross country. I will improve my English. I will use my cell phone less, right? What are 10 commitments you will make to yourself to have a good, strong school year? So don't write anything you want to do that you're not planning to or don't have the discipline to do. These are commitments you're going to make, promises you're going to make to yourself. Not I want to, but I will. And I want you to hold yourself accountable for that. So you're going to take some time to write 10 I will sentences. And then you're going to make a vision statement. Write one sentence at the bottom of what you want your year to be like. And you're going to start it off with that sentence starter. My vision for this school year is, and then you tell me what your vision is going to be. When you're finished, you're going to draw 4 visuals, at least 4, that represent your goals. When you go home, if you want to add clip art, if you want to add cutouts for magazines, printed pictures, then you can do that. You will be putting this assignment inside your notebook, and I will tell you when I return where that will go, so do not lose that. So there are up front on the counter by the television, there are some color pencils, there are some markers. I ask that you please return materials where you get them from. Don't just leave them at your desk, and don't just throw red pencils in the blue pencil section. I have everything organized. I expect it to remain organized when you leave. So pause the video at this moment and take about the next 20 minutes. If the class is done sooner, then you guys can go ahead and start, but take no more than 20 minutes because there's other information that needs to be discussed today. So if you don't finish at the 20 minutes mark, then finish this at home. But if you finish before, then go ahead and if everybody moves on together, then you'll have a little bit more time for the stuff at the end. So go ahead and pause the video now. Somebody set a timer for 20 minutes, and at 20 minutes, resume. Okay, by now your 20 minutes are up, and you're going to scoot over to your partner, and you're going to introduce yourself, and you're going to spend 2 minutes each person. So a total of 4 minutes using your responses on your About Me from last week. You're going to interview your partner and ask them about their favorites and just have a conversation that should take about maybe 1 minute each person. And then when you finish sharing your About Me responses, you're going to share your 10 commitments with your partner. And that should take about another minute. So once again, please pause the video, set a timer for 4 minutes, and in 4 minutes, go ahead and restart this presentation. Okay, thank you, and thank your partner. If I can have your focus back on the slides, back on the presentation, we're now going to move into the skill building part of the lesson. Now the first skill we're going to look at for reading and note taking is going to be chapter previewing. I gave you all a handbook, and this is one of the handouts, the chapter previewing. You don't need to pull it out right now. If you have it handy, you could look on, but you don't need to pull it out. Just referencing that this is a strategy you're going to use when you read difficult texts. So that's what we're going to focus on today. So to preview the chapter, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to scan the text. So scanning the text means you skim the titles and subtitles. Just quickly look at what they are. You're going to read the section titles, and you're going to just in your head try to predict what it will be about and what you'll learn. Right? You don't have to be right. These are predictions. So this is the electronic version. Your textbook looks a little bit different, but you'll get the hang of it. You'll be able to discern the differences in the two textbooks. And this file is found in Google Classroom. So when we get ready to start, you will open this up from Google Classroom if you don't have it open already. So you're going to study images. You're going to look at the maps. you're going to read the captions and just pay attention to the dates and the place names. Pay attention to the maps to see where in the world it is. But you don't have to, this is not a very in-depth assignment for this part. So right now, I want you to just take 5 minutes to skim. You're not reading in depth, you're just kind of glancing to see what the titles, what's it going to focus on, and start getting an idea based on pictures and locations and key names that just pop out, what you're going to read. So please pause the video right here, set a timer for 5 minutes, and if you don't finish skimming, that's okay. So in 5 minutes, go ahead and restart the timer. Please begin. All right, so let's get started with the next step. So the next step in previewing a text is going to be skimming the text. So now you're going to read the introduction and section introductions, okay? And so you're going to have 10 minutes, and I'll explain to you what to do when you do this assignment. So first, you're going to read the introductions, and that's what's bracketed here. If you can see my blue bracket that just popped up. It begins with the story, and it goes all the way down to the bottom of the page, and then onto the next page. And then you get to the section introductions. The sections start with the bold red words. So those big bold red words, a prophet and his world, when you get to the page expansion of Islam, those are the sections. Every chapter is going to have 3 or 4 sections. And what you're going to do is, after you read the introduction and the section introduction, you're then just going to go on to the rest of the section and only read the first line of each paragraph. Not even the first sentence, just the first line. So when you see the textbook, those titles you see in blue, those are subsections. Those are all part of the same section, A Prophet in His World. So you'll read as many subsections as there are until you get to the next section. And so first line only. So you're going to take 10 minutes. You're going to read the introduction, which is a full page and maybe a half. You're going to read A Prophet in His World, that section introduction, and then you're going to read just the first line of every paragraph. When you get to section 2, the expansion of Islam, you'll read the paragraph that says after Muhammad's death, the Islamic community. You'll read that paragraph, and then you'll proceed to read first sentences for the rest of the subsections. So you're going to do this for 10 minutes. And actually, I'm going to have everybody start, instead of reading the whole first page, start on the last paragraph of the first page. Okay, where it says the word Islam means submission. That is where you will start reading. So go ahead and pause the video, set a timer for 10 minutes, and get as far as you can in the 10 minutes. You are working with a partner on this. So with your partner, go through this together. Take turns reading paragraphs. Take turns reading first sentences. Okay, timer for 10 minutes. Please begin. Okay, now to finish the preview, you're going to take 3 minutes to read the conclusion. And this is going to be a summary. Okay, so the conclusion is at the end of the chapter, before you get to the chronology, before you get to the timeline of important dates. And you notice that the spacing and the font is a little bit different. That's the conclusion, that section right there. So pause the video with your partner, take 3 minutes to read the conclusion. Set a timer, press pause, begin. And welcome back. So now, just with your partner, based on the preview you just completed, do you understand what the major topics in this chapter will be? And do you have an idea of what type of information will be important? So just quickly talk about that. Take about maybe 30 seconds. Okay, now, if you run out of time, if the bell rings before you get to this, you want to finish watching the next couple slides at home because it's going to entail the note-taking setup. So hopefully there is still some time left in class. You're going to spend about 5 minutes. It shouldn't take you 5 minutes, but some students like to be very, very meticulous and perfect. You're going to set up your page for notes, and these are just what are called claims and thesis notes. And this is the graphic organizer that's in your handbook. So create on a blank piece of paper in your notebook, you're going to create this page. You're going to title it Chapter 14, The Expansive Realm of Islam. You're going to create 2 columns, one that says claims, one that says thesis. Leave your claims column bigger. The thesis statement column should be about maybe 1/3 of the page. The claims should take up 2/3. So don't do it in half like it looks here. So pause the video, take 5 minutes to lay that out. We're going to use this on Thursday, but I want it set up already. Okay, we're ready to move on to the next slide. These are just some words to live by. You'll hear me say this a lot. If at first you don't succeed, try doing it the way your teacher told you to in the beginning. A lot of students are going to struggle with the reading throughout the semester because you're going to want to find a faster way of reading. If you can read the chapter fast and understand it and succeed on the assignments, then there's no problem. But if you struggle on quizzes, if you struggle to participate and give input in class discussions, if you struggle to write about the topics, that means you're not understanding what you're reading because you're either not reading or you're reading too fast. I know these strategies I'm going to teach you take a lot of your time, but once you master them, it will become second nature. Students often say they use this strategy throughout their college careers. So you're building on a skill you're going to use not just throughout this course, throughout high school, but throughout your academic life. So just remember those words. Tonight's homework is to preview chapter 15 using this same strategy. Just take 15 minutes. You're not going to need to make a chart for it. All you're going to do is skim the text, read the introduction and first sentences for chapter 15, and I will post a question in Google Classroom for you to answer to make sure you've done the homework. And then spend about 15 to 30 minutes working on your autobiography. Okay, so that is it for today, and I will have another video for you for Thursday, and then I will see you all next week. Have a good day.